whole layout looks like it's some CNN type stuff.
That's what we do. Hey everybody, what's going on? Troy Rawlings here. You know me from Meet the. This is all about Chapterz Live, and we're in here, and we're coast to coast. I'm on the West Coast, Los Angeles.
I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah, on the East Coast in Maryland, we have the one and only, the author, the CEO, and the founder of Chapterz Live, Yonder. What's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. And we want to give you a snippet today of what Chapterz Live is all about. The conversations that you'll see with different authors conversating with one another about their favorite lines in the book, their favorite chapters, their favorite pages. And for those of you who are book lovers, you're going to love it. For those of you who are authors, get ready. And this is the guy who will be reviewing your book. We'll talk a little bit more later about some of the reviews he has coming up. But let's get into this because most people don't know. Well, if they don't know, they know now.
They better know now.
You got 9 books,
9.
right?
Book 10 will be out before the summer's out. Book 10, I got 9 out right now. 9. 99.
Okay, so we got book number 1. What I Do Is Taboo, the book that started it all, and book number 2.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a little bit. We're not gonna be with y'all long. We just give me a snippet because the Chapterz Live with the authors, you know, it's an hour. It's a full hour. You get 2 of your favorite authors. But we're gonna give you a snippet of what it's all about. And Yonder, I was asking, and some of the things I know, we've been best friends for 16 years. So
16 years.
So we know, and we toured together. But some of the stories I'm still learning. Some of the things that motivated you to write what you wrote, I'm still learning about the background of it. Like recently, you know, you telling me about your pops and some other things. I'm still learning stuff. I was just talking to a friend of mine that I grew up with and learned something there where I know it's several books there, but even I told her about Chronicles of Young Lance that actually launched in the Taboo, What I Do Is Taboo series.
And I love Chronicles of Young Lance. That's one of the best stories. Everybody talks about who is Lance, man. I love that story, man. I love that whole storyline. You know, we got to put that in the book by itself, right? It
is. We're working on it. I'm working on it now. I got to, you know, when you get, here's another thing. And I want to talk to you about this because this is something we discussed on when it comes to writing. I love writing, but you have something that a lot of authors may wish they had if they don't have even some authors that have a check coming in from a publisher. And by the way, folks, stop saying you have a publishing deal. If someone didn't pay you for you to write, that's not a publishing deal.
I have a publishing deal. That is so true.
Either you're publishing a book on your own, or you're publishing a book with assistance from someone else, or you're publishing a book and paying somebody a little bit more to help publish your book. So unless somebody cuts you a check, that's not a publishing deal. But you are a published author if you self-publish. Recognize that.
Yes, you are.
So one thing we talked about is how the different experiences in our life turn into the chapters in our book. And you have a great way of writing fiction, and you let me know that there's nothing wrong with writing fiction, taking pieces from your life based on a true story.
Exactly. And build it. That's all you got to do. Change the place and the date. Oh, it's a great book.
Change the names to protect the not so innocent.
If she was light skinned, she dark skinned. She was Spanish, she became white. Whatever she was, you changed what she was. Look, now you got to change whole ethnicity here. You know, you got to change everything with them. You can't just make them uptown to Southeast. You have to change everything about them because folks will sue you for this because they know it happened, but they'll sue you. Oh, that's me.
Right. I literally just sent. I'm gonna tag them as Robbie and Carlos. They my boy. They're the only people that I didn't change their name, and they're in college orientation. If you haven't read College Orientation, you got to get the book, and that's book 5, right?
Yes, that's book 5, man. That was a great, man. That whole piece of that did from jumping to the subway and being at the parties, the house parties and everything, hanging with the frats and everything, man. That was a great. I mean, each piece of that was a piece of growing, and people don't realize that these books are all about growth. We're talking about from what you did when you was a teenager to some of the adulthood and how you grew and how you messed up sometimes, but how you actually grew, became a better person. We all became a better person, even some fun for real.
Right, right. And the times that make you, everybody has a book in them. If you're looking at this now,
everybody has a book in them. You're so right.
Yonder is one of the best people when it comes to, and I had D. Blackman, mad love to her because she said it too, when you gonna write your book. But Yonder was like, when you gonna write your book? And I was like, well, I'm just saying. He was like, give me 10 pages.
That's what I told you. Give me 10
I'll
pages.
put in the book. And he kicked it off and got it started. So we'll talk more about how, if you're wanting to be an author, most people, what did you call it? An author mentor or author coach?
You know what? With you, it wasn't even author coach. You was already a writer. I just happened to be your friend. Or the book out. I mean, really. And that's how I suggest with not just this industry, but not just the minority industry, but with industry. If you know somebody's doing something, ask them, can you tag along with them? Really, you already seen what you were doing. You're working with me. You writing up proposal stuff. I was like, man, go and put that thing in here. And that gives you a whole different batch of folks who follow with you. You get a whole different say-so of everything goes with it. It's basically a jump start of doing what you're doing, what you already know how to do. Right. And people don't realize that people try to do all this walk on their own. If you know somebody already got a book, hey, look, can I put pages up in your book?
Right. And if 2020 and all the stuff we've been through, because this is a historic time. This is a historic time of the century of, this will go down in history. But if you haven't learned anything, the biggest thing you should learn is you can't do it by yourself. You need partners.
Anything by yourself.
You need a team. Shout out to Yonder's production team right there, right now, helping him with everything we've done. The covers. Shout out to Chris Hopkins and
right
design and all the stuff.
Cover. I mean, what was the first photographer for this one? Who was the photographer for? What's your boy's name? Baltimore.
Oh, you're talking about Muhammad for that one.
Yes.
3 and 4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. And I know so many because you got so many books, but I want to hear about some of your favorite pages, chapters,
okay.
something.
One of my favorite characters, actually, the funny thing about it is, writing. Sometimes you don't like your characters because they you sometimes, and you get mad at them. I actually like all my characters: the good, the bad, the ugly, the girl, the man. I mean, everybody. I like all my characters because they're just so unique in their own ways.
Right.
But the person who I gravitate to more is this character in my book called Mr. Rourke. I called him Mr. Rourke because he made your fancies come through for women, and all his boys called him Mr. Rourke. They knew what he did. They knew his skill set because they knew how many women he had. And they always you know how you hang with one. Everybody had that one friend that they hung with because they got they left on the table. You know what I'm saying? If one dude who got everybody,
Hold up. Now I got to stop because realize we got a generation of people who have never seen Fantasy Island. So
right.
Mr. Rourke, Ricardo Montalban, welcome Fantasy Island. You got to.
And Mr. Rourke was a little dude. He was a small person.
Mr. Rourke was the you talking about Tattoo.
What was his little buddy name? What's his little buddy name, Troy?
He called him Tattoo. It was wrong with so many. Oh, Tattoo.
Tattoo. Right. And like you said, Troy, we're from a generation that don't know anything about this. Okay. It's a group, not the new, because the new Fantasy Island crazy. Have you seen that one?
Nah.
No, but the old Fantasy Island.
Oh, you talking about one that's like a reality show, though, right?
It's an island that this guy brought everybody to, and he made your fancies come true. And this guy's nickname is Mr. Rourke, in my book. And Mr. Rourke made women's fancies come true. Not just, and he hung with a group of fellas who knew his skill set. So anything he got, they got to get the residuals from whatever he got. So if it's 10 girls, they're gonna get the other 9, but he gonna get number 1. And it just became a funny story. And the funny thing about it was Mr. Rourke took on this whole, as I toured and everything, you've been with me, we toured, Mr. Rourke took on a whole different phenomenon that I wasn't ready for, because women started looking for Mr. Rourke.
Right.
Like, where you at? Who is he? And I'm like, I made him up, but I really didn't make him up, but I couldn't tell you who he really was.
Right. Right.
You know, and that's the funniest thing about, as you know, you're a writer, the funniest thing about writing is that people attach themselves to these characters. They love them, they hate them, they want to what's name. Even if you look at modern day, what was the story Power when something went on with the main character and when someone went on Ghost and the young lady dating, man, they was sending her real life emails like just
they was pissed, right?
Yeah.
And girls were falling in love with Ghost and like I'm saying, you just gotta hold down your man, whether he dealing or not. I was like, who is this guy Ghost? But that's how serious the phenomenon. All right, because we're gonna get caught up in this.
Right.
Just snippet. So I want to hear some of your favorite pieces and see if hear a little bit about the history or how you developed that part of the story or where it came from or if it has any history there.
Okay, well, this piece I want to talk here. This is what I was talking about. Mr. Rourke was one of them characters that the brothers loved him because of what they got the residuals from the girls, but the women adored this brother, and this is what he did. I talk about this piece in the book called The Zone. This is page 18 of book 1. Page 18 of book 1. Y'all see that? Book 1, page 18. Okay. It's called The Zone. Okay, you say, let me tell you, let me get the lowdown on the zone. Zone is a special place most men and women only reach maybe twice in their entire life. Most don't even know what a zone is. Okay, a zoner. Once you enter the zone more than twice, you are known as a zoner. But let me give you the details of the zone. The zone is when everything you say and do is what everyone else would like to say and do. I can briefly describe it as everything you touch turns to, well, I would say platinum now. When a man has mastered the zone, society can't even understand the magic he possesses. But as men do with everything, we abuse it. We would do your mama. We would do your sister, your aunt, your niece, and anyone else that falls in the way of the zone. But I got to tell you something else too. Women use the zone too. There have been a few women I have known to manipulate the zone, as well as they have luxury cars to prove it. And yes, they have reversed the game to make themselves the men into psychiatrists. Oh yes, women love for men to give them everything that she can get from them. The zone is matched by both sexes. It all depends on how long you can stay in it, but most people can't stay in it long. So
the zone,
like I said, the zone is
so the zone.
The zone.
And we know you're talking about it because
it's just like when you go to the club, Troy, you go to the club, when you macking everybody, you look over there and every phone number yours. You know everybody because you walk through the door, Troy, what's up? Goes home. Everybody like who is this dude? You know, that's the zone. All the fellas with you, all the women like it do. Everybody want to know who is that. Yeah,
and women, if you haven't realized yet, a lot of things that guys equate, we talk about this during our tour and stuff, we equate a lot of things to sports. Mm-hmm. So in the zone, when you're in the zone in sports, like, oh, he's in the zone.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You can't miss the shot. You can't, everything is hitting.
You drop, you hit it. You coming from the outside, you hit it. Look, you break your arm, you still make the shot.
Steph Curry. Chef Curry falling back out of the bounds and hit.
Jordan with the what's the last dance? His feet was bleeding. He was still shooting.
Yeah, everything you touch go in, and you're absolutely right. You got certain, and I'm glad you said that because a lot of times you think, oh, guys, player. But when you see a sister, I've seen sisters before, and I call all female sisters all races. Exactly. I'm talking about a sister.
A sister.
You see a sister walk into a joint. And to this day, I remember. You remember the girl back in grade school who, when she walked in, everybody got quiet.
Men all paused.
Huh?
And the men all paused. Just done.
Men all paused.
All paused. Right.
You gotta be down with. You gotta be a certain.
So right. When you do a club, and like I said, I've seen women come to club, and she would be an average woman on another day. But the day she walked in the club with everything right from her hair to nails to her feet, you like, oh. Everybody step up. The band looking at her. The DJ. And when other women start looking at her like,
And women, you know when you do it because you're looking in the mirror at home like, oh, we about to set this. Look,
Troy, when I wear this dress up in there, why should I wear this one?
Hey, we gotta go. We said this was a snippet. It's only about 15 minutes on IGTV. Get with Chapterz. Follow Yonder author right now, and we'll talk to you in a hot minute. We'll be back.
See you.